Flora here, your spiritual business mentor and life coach. And today I want to talk with you about lasting change and how easy it actually can be. Now, if you've heard me say this once, you've heard me say it a million times. But for some reason, change is the one thing that brings up the most fear in us humans. If we change jobs, if we change locations where we live, if we change our health status, our wealth status, so many things, so much fear and anxiety is so charged up in change that when I even say change, a lot of people just kind of recoil and go, oh, you know. And I was like this too. I mean, I hated change. I was pissed at change. I was resentful anytime something changed. And when I actually realized that the only thing I really could count on was change, I started to go, okay. So if change is the only thing that I can count on, how can I let it work for me instead of against me? How can I work with it? And how can I basically flip over and float instead of trying to swim against the current? So I started a meditative practice, and I'm not going to tell you guys to meditate because that's not the whole point here, but I started a meditative practice, an active meditative practice, where I started to just look outside every single day. And I started to look at this one particular tree in my yard. And I actually have pictures of this same tree that is over about a 13-and-a-half-month period of time, where I literally took a picture of this tree and I looked at it, and from day to day it just kind of looked the same, and then all of a sudden one day you could see little buds, and then over a couple weeks all of a sudden full-blown leaves, and then over a couple months then the leaves started to shrivel up and die. And it was so cool for me to do this meditation, and this was an active meditation, and this was something that I was like, so the tree isn't resisting the change, it's just going with the flow, and that's how it thrives and survives. And so I've got some of you in the comments saying that you don't like change. Well, when we resist change, what happens is it sucks. It's hard. We have all kinds of bullshit that comes with it when we try to resist change. But when you recognize what comes from change, and what comes from change is growth and wisdom and new beginnings, new surroundings. Many times the better it gets, the better it gets. And when something changes and it sucks or it gets worse, look at your mindset, look at your attitude, look at how you're going into the situation. And I'm truly convinced mindset literally is the key that changes absolutely everything. Now, if you had asked me this 5 years ago, I would have said you were full of bullshit. Absolutely full of bullshit, because I was of the mindset, if I work hard, if I have the strategy, if I muscle through, it's gonna work. And shit just wasn't working. And I was like, you gotta effing be kidding me. I was so pissed and I was so frustrated. And finally I realized, wait a minute, I keep hearing this mind stuff thing, people preaching about mindset this and mindset that and whatever. And then I was like, So I started to blend the mindset in with really kind of surrendering to change, and just say, okay, so if I go into change and just expect it to suck, it's gonna suck, because that was my experience for all the years, prior to this. So I was like, okay, so I wonder what would happen, because change is gonna happen anyway. I wonder what would happen if I just expected the change to be easy, or started to look for the good coming out of the change. Okay, so this was actually a little bit longer than 5 years ago now that I think about it. It was 6 years ago, as a matter of fact. And I was in a very ugly divorce. We had a prenup, and it was his prenup, but he contested the prenup. So he literally contested his own prenup. I'm like, seriously? Whatever. Anyway, it was a $20,000 big lesson learned. And there was a lot of icky points. There was a lot of bullshit that came with it. And so I was like, okay, so I could dwell on the bullshit, or I could be open to the opportunities here. I could be open to what is working, what is good. And so every time I felt myself getting pissed, or every time I felt myself getting mad, or every time I felt myself getting sad or overwhelmed or furious, I was like, no, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there, because that's just going to be a waste of my time, a waste of my energy. What good is coming out of this? What beautiful change is happening? And the beautiful change that was happening was I was breaking free from a very toxic, very ugly relationship. I was breaking free from old stories that had kept me stuck. I was challenging myself in my business to bring in more money. Yes, Bikini Day. I haven't seen you in a long time. It's Bikini Thursday. Anyway, in the summer, it's Bikini Day every day for me. But anyway, so, I allowed myself to look at what is the opportunity in this and how is this change benefiting me, instead of how does this change suck? Because change in and of itself is neutral. It's neutral. Change just happens. And speaking of bikinis, I literally change clothes like 4 or 5 times a day because I live in Wisconsin. Wake up, it's cold. Then mid-morning, it usually gets warmer. Afternoon, right now, it's like 2:34. It's hot, so I'm in my bikini. Probably in about 4 or 5 hours, I'm going to put some more clothes on because, it's going to get colder. And then if I decide to go out later on, I'm probably going to change again. So change happens. And again, change in and of itself is neutral. It is benign. It is the energy and the mindset that we put forth towards the change that causes it to be bullshit or hard or that it sucks. Or we can have the mindset of, okay, change is going to happen anyway. How can I work with it instead of against it? Yes, Rebecca, what's the opportunity in this? She's a member of the Mastermind Mafia, and that is my go-to phrase. What is the opportunity in this change? What is the opportunity in this situation? And that right there is how you can create lasting change in your life that is positive, that is powerful, that gives you your voice back, that gives you that confidence and courage to move forward. Is no matter what happens, you give yourself the opportunity to say, what is the opportunity in this? And you start looking for what's new. You start looking for the positive instead of focusing on the bullshit or focusing on what's not working. Because oh yeah, any given day I can focus on the bullshit and what's not working, but does that serve me? Absolutely not. It's a waste of my time, it's a waste of my energy. But I can say, all right, what's the opportunity in this situation? How can this benefit me? What can I learn from this? How can this be easy? And focusing on the opportunity and how I can move with it instead of against it literally has given me my life back. It has allowed me so much freedom in my personal life, in my relationships both intimately and platonically, with my family, with everybody, with the people that work for me and with me. It's absolutely the key to freedom. And when you can give yourself that present, that gift of opportunity, you're going to start to see your life in a completely different way. So, what I want you to do is I want you to think about something that is going on right now, a change that's going on in your life that just sucks, that you really just do not like. And I want you to just ask yourself, okay, so this is the situation as it is. Boom. All right, here it is, in a nutshell. Oh no, I'm in a nutshell. I'm just kidding. What movie is that from, people? I'll actually give a 20-minute session to the first person that puts where that is from. Oh no, I'm in a nutshell. Anyway, I'm not kidding. I will private message me if I call your name out if you get it. But anyway, so this is your situation in a nutshell. And you can ask yourself, okay, what is the opportunity in this situation? What's the opportunity? And when you start to recognize the opportunity and start to go, Okay, Austin Powers, yes, Christy, private message me and I'm gonna give you a free session. Yay, I love it. So, what's the opportunity in it? What is the opportunity? You know, seriously, because there was so many opportunities in divorce, so many opportunities in infidelity, so many opportunities in affairs, so many opportunities in getting in a car accident, so many opportunities in having a skydiving accident way back in the day, so many opportunities in boot camp. When I was in boot camp, it fucking sucked. It was hard. It was scary. I was like pushed beyond my limits, but I didn't give up. I was like, okay, so what's the opportunity in this very moment? What's the opportunity when you're giving birth and you're freaking out because the person across the hallway is like pushing for 2 hours? The opportunity is, okay, my body knows what it's doing. I'm just going to let it happen. And literally I pushed 2 times and both of my kids were out. First push, head. Second push, body. Third push, placenta. My doctor's like, dude, you make this look way too easy. And I had the opportunity to either resist that change that my body was going through and resist what my body knew naturally to do, or to just surrender to it and relax as much as I could while you're having this giant thing pushed out of something that's very small. And, you know, I could resist it or I could just relax and let it go through. And that's exactly what the epitome of change is like. When you resist it, it's hard, it sucks, it's challenging, it's messy, it's icky. But if you allow yourself to just find the opportunity in it and allow yourself to go with the flow and just say, okay, so change is the only constant. And I can either resist this change and have a really crappy time, or I can choose to look for the opportunity here, lean into that opportunity, and then ask myself, okay, so how can I let this be easy? So you see the opportunity, you let yourself entertain the idea that it might be easy, because, you know, it might be if you allow it, if you're open to it. And then you can also ask yourself, okay, so I want to see evidence for how this is going to positively impact and affect my life. Now, when you start to look for what's new and you start to look for the positive, you're going to start to see it. You're going to start to find it. But when you look for the negative and you look for the crap, you're going to find it. You know what I mean? So, also in the same vein, one of the things that we've been talking about earlier this year is about, well, actually earlier this week, I should say, is about your goals for this year, and how a lot of you are like, shit, I haven't even set goals. What's a goal? Like, why should I set one? Yada, yada. And a lot of people are feeling stuck. A lot of people are just like, I have no freaking clue even what goal to start out with. So what I want you to do is to take what we talked about today, and about change, and how change is the only constant, and how you can focus on something positive or something negative. Change in and of itself is benign. And what I want you to do is I want you to download this free gift that I'm going to post in the comments as soon as the live stream is finished. I'm going to post it in the comments. And the title for this is How to Create Lasting Change in Only One Step. And I teach you like my 1 degree shift process, but I want you to specifically apply this process to change. So the one change that you're going through right now that's causing you the most bullshit, or causing you the most kind of pushback, okay? I want you to apply this concept and the process to this one thing that you're struggling with right now, okay? And then what I want you to do is, I don't want you to just sign up for it and download it. I want you to actually do it, and then private message me and say, hey Flora, so I printed off this free gift that you gave me, and the one thing that I've been working on right now, like, I'll give you an example. Christina, we just spoke on the phone, and you were having a really hard time processing certain things in your business. You're just like, oh, I'm trying to do this, and I'm trying to do this, and I'm trying to do this. And you've been going through some change. You're going through some transition and some shifts. And I was like, oh, boom. There you go. And I gave you a couple ideas right off the top of my head. You're like, oh my God, seriously? That's so easy. What? And you're like, mine was like, How is this possible? You know, and I'm just like, well, because I'm not in the thick of it. And so many times when we're in the thick of things, we can't see the opportunity. We can't see it because we're so caught up in the emotionality of it. We're so caught up in the energy of it that we forget that it can be easy. And so using this 1 degree shift process, I'm hoping that you're gonna start to see your situation in a little bit of a different way. All right, so like I said, I want you to click the link below, download your free gift, print it out, do the process. It's very quick. It's gonna take you like 10 minutes or less. And then private message me and say, okay, Flora, this is the situation that I applied to this process, and this is what I came up with. If you're having a hard time coming up with solutions, what I want you to do again, private message me. If you're watching this on YouTube or on my website, or if you've gotten this in my newsletter, send me an email, flora@florasage.com, and say, hey, I just watched your video, and I'm having a hard time figuring out what to do here. Help a sister out or help a brother out. And I'm gonna send you a link so that we can talk privately, and no strings attached. I really wanna help you get clarity, and I really wanna help you start to embrace change, because truly the only thing that we can count on is change. That's it. And I am a master at rolling with the punches, going with the flow, flipping over and floating instead of swimming against the current, okay? And I truly want to help you be able to have more grace and ease in your life and not resist change and not hate change, because change can suck, I gotta be honest. But the mindset that you use going into it and allowing yourself to really see the opportunity in change literally is the thing that will allow you truly to have a completely different experience, okay, with change and the whole thing about change, all right? So I love you all. Click the link below to sign up, to grab your free gift, no strings attached. And please, please get back to me. Let me know how this has served you, how it's helped you. If